Good morning. I'm Jeremy, and welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards, and our house in progress. We are heading on 2 years of us building on this house, and we are past 2 years since permit was approved, and now past 2 years since the groundbreaking of the house. Not yet past 2 years of foundation. That took a while. But we're up in the attic, and we are working on some drywall for the ceiling, and we are probably 2/3 of the way through our drywall hanging. It will be a lot less than that as far as the time spent on the drywall in total, because of course there's also mudding and taping. And we just got back in action. I had to get a new stand. My younger son broke the last stand, as children are wont to do, trying to figure out all the bells and whistles, the knobs, the twisties, the up and down, and that's just the way that goes. But we have a new one, so we're back in action. We've got one sheet already up on the ceiling, as you can see, and one sheet on the drywall lift, the panel lift. So we are going to get started here. And I had to decide how I was going to set this all up. And long story short, there's a narrow strip on that side for the ceiling that will probably be a second 8-foot sheet and a section of length that going down the far side. Hopefully that will be a cutoff from this side. And then on this side, we're going to do a 12 all the way down to here, and then a 12 going further down, and then a section at the end. You definitely want to stagger these ceiling panel joints. You don't want to have one seam in one spot. It's going to draw your eye no matter how well you do it, and it makes it a little bit weaker at the joints. So stagger by at least 2, if not preferably 4 feet. We are actually out of 8-foot panels just about, which I didn't buy very many to begin with. Almost all of it is 12s, and we should have enough 12s to do all the major work already up here in the attic. We will probably bring up a few more cut to the length they need to be. Anything under, I think it was 10.5 feet, should make the corner. Might have just been 10, but we shouldn't even need quite that long on any of what's left after we're done with what I'm standing on right now, this pile down here. Well, that wasn't a great start to the day. Not even remotely a good start to the day, really. That sheet, had to cut it a second time because I measured from the wrong side, which is not surprising. I didn't get much sleep last night. I didn't feel very good this morning, but my brain's not functioning correctly, we'll say. And so what's left of that sheet that I saved, the corner piece broke off when I took the lift down and it caught. And so I stomped on it. When I was a kid, I had such a temper. I don't really have much of a temper anymore, except for inanimate objects. I guess maybe a little bit left. So here's the replacement. I should still be able to use the rest of that sheet somewhere else. This is going to fit much better. I am going to need to give a shave to this already installed butt joint. Must have cut it slightly off of perfectly perpendicular, but it will fit in just nice. I also have to buzz the top off this board or take it and drop it. I think I'm gonna buzz it just a little bit too high. And I think once we have that done, this one here is it's gonna fit in next to this pink. immediately the first thing I noticed was working with these, and it makes total sense. These are really long screws, and so you don't have much of an opportunity to make them go in perfectly perpendicular in all directions, if that makes sense. So you need to be at the right angle, both this way and this way, if that makes any sense to the sheet you're working with. Otherwise, that length of screw will exacerbate that issue of it coming in at an angle. So like this screw right here, it came up at too much of an angle this way. And then I started getting the hang of it here. This one went in a little bit of an angle. This one was perfect up here. So you got to watch that angle really closely. Side to side, if you don't have it just right over 3 inches, I mean, well, 2.5, you're going to miss that board. So you got to make sure you're at the right angle for sure.
Let's use from here first, since that'll allow us to sheetrock that wall. So which way are you going?
Well, it doesn't really matter. Oh no, hold on. We need to get the length on this one real quick to make sure. 138 on the button. What's what that's telling me. What are you doing? Can you
cut it to 138?
Can you take this bit and get the driver over there and sink this in where it's like the others sticking out? I'll move that ladder. You okay?
Yep.
Went all the way to the saddle and catch those hooks. Past those yours.
Yep.
There, maybe. That's pretty much about right there on my end.
Okay.
How are you looking on your end?
Pretty good.
Okay. We're not on my end. All right. Now that you've got it straight, I guess. Looks like it's as straight as we're going to get it anyway.
Set up the laser.
You can use the laser. It is somewhat helpful. I have marked where I think it should be. It should be 1.5 inches off center of that on the right side. That is where it should be. And you can also see on the bottom, I tried to figure where those were. So.
Fine.
Yes. So what I'll usually do is I'll put in the outside or the middle first, doesn't really matter, and kind of guess the middle and then just split it so that you're not like worrying about the spacing. Oh, there is another possibility.
What's that?
It could be that it's got a very narrow piece here, and it's got like a bark strip.
Ah, yeah, that could be.
So you might be trying to hit like the world's stupidest.
So just try and go up and down.
Well, I told him to go. You know. It's a beautiful soundtrack of our lives. This next sheet, I messed up on which end needed cut off to what degree. Now it's almost ready to go up. However, I also have to cut it to width because with the styrofoam board, the room is not a dimensional 8 feet. So I'm gonna say this is good because I can get that sheet up in there. However, you can see that there's a difference in height here. So to make it down to the next one, I'm probably going to have to use this to indicate where to use my oscillating multi-tool to give us a little buzz. So right here in the middle, I went with longer pieces than I should have apparently, and so I've had to cut off this lip where it was pretty much flushed. So we're gonna have issues right in here with being able to reach with the screws. Me, what am I doing? So we'll take it and put it up like that. Yep. You think? Going for it. Get you out where you can work a little easier. We have to move that mineral wool. Wait out a second here. Grab that hoop and put it on. Can you?
It's on there far enough.
Think so?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah. I'd say so. Oh, we're way unbalanced. Let's make this real.
You silly monkey.
Do you have it?
Maybe. Wouldn't stand under it like that.
Well, I'm going the right way.
Now they're flush and it just needs to be pushed this way.
Okay.
So we're a fair ways into today. There's not a whole lot of day left. I'm going to try and get this outside wall on this side done. We've got most of the ceiling work, most of the sidewall work pretty well done at the cathedral ceiling part. And then the stairs not at all done up high. So that end over there still needs some work. But the main part of it, the bulk, the easy stuff, not the cuts, is done. And right now I'm going to figure out where I need to be as far as how I'm going to cut this wall, because it's not an even amount. So the top area is about 8 feet, it's a little less. And then total distance is like 13 and a half, something like that. So one sheet's not going to do it. Did I say 13? That's not 13. Let's find out. Let's pull tape and find out. Okay, yeah, not even close to 13. It's like 15. So I'm going to be hanging the top sheet first, and I'm going to put that in from this side going over to here. I have my 12 already cut, and it's going to land somewhere just on this board, and I'll router out that whole piece of it. No problem. It'll be behind the trim. And then up here, that gets it to match up with this ceiling joint, which is, I don't think, going to cause any problems, but it's going to give me the benefit of a nice clean break. So our roof is a 10 on 12 pitch, and the math says that that means that we should be sitting at something along the lines of 39-ish degrees, and that over a space this long, it's to get to this point where we have to change our pitch. It's basically 43.25 inches. And I found that just by finding the plumb, sticking this up here, a little bit past, and then running tape measure over 43 1/4, pretty much. So the math says that we are looking at about 36 inches on this end. We need to cut off of the board. So 36 inches down the board, and then from that 43 1/4, make a line, cut it. That should be our cut. When I measured it out, just best guess, it was like 35, maybe 35 1/4. And so the the boards of my rafters are not 100% perfectly lined. They are dimensional, and they have bows and all that jazz to them. And so to make it fit nice, I need to figure out what it actually is. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to take this board and scoot it over to where it's going to sit, all the way up against this corner here. And then we're going to basically take the box level and make sure it's sitting flat. Yep, we're right in the middle of the bubble here, so it's sitting on a very nice flat section of floor. And so then all we have to do is right here, we drop down and find that we are sitting at 49 1/2 inches. So then over here, we're going to do the same thing. Find that 49 1/2 inches. So here's my 49 1/2 inch mark. And now if we measure this, it should be 36, right? We are at 35 7/8. Now we'll just get our line. So there's our 43 1/4, 35 7/8. And that should be our cut in right in here. Well, as far as the easy part of it goes, we're about halfway there. A little bit more than halfway on the easy part. You know, you got the walls, little pony walls there, and then you've got that far wall and that last little bit of ceiling plus the stairs. And then before I do these pony walls, I'm going to get underneath there. I'm going to patch in all that stuff in under there using the cutoffs from our 12s from downstairs. So tomorrow we'll try and finish off everything up here on the ceiling. I'll probably say we'll build our platform so we can get up into there and get that finished off, take the platform down, and then we're gonna get some more pieces cut for downstairs, and I'll use what I have back in that location, and that should tell us how much I'm gonna need to buy, if I'm gonna need to buy some more sheets to finish out underneath. And on the other side of that pony wall, because I don't have any boards up here other than boards that would be for patching for that. Now, I don't know whether I could fit a 4x8. I don't think I can fit a 4x8 into those spaces. So they're going to be cuts regardless. There's really no getting around it. So there's some ducks on top of our snag tree. I don't know if you can see that.
Our tree. Oh my goodness, golly, hey, there was ducks on top of our tree.
Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.